Now that's what you want to see. New landing page. So, Dusk Till Dawn coming soon. Ooh. Is it under normal articles or retail news? Nope. There we are. Dusk Till Dawn. So, this is the next set, Dusk Till Dawn, 10th set milestone. Right, as dusk consumes the day, the demonastery, otherworldly shadow hordes, this is a weird word to me. Demonastery? Let's try it again. So, obviously, Dusk Till Dawn is tying back into Monarch. So, it is a 10 set booster. Okay. So, this is another interesting thing. We went Uprising, Dynasty, then obviously Outsiders. So, we went Standard, Supplemental, Standard. Now, apparently, this is the Supplemental set, which sort of outlines that they're not sticking to this somewhat of a block theme, where again it is standard, and a supplementary set, but they're going to stick to sets that tie together. So, for instance, Dynasty obviously tied directly to Uprising, and then Outsiders, although we allot it in those blocks. Because again, you've got like Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, Crucible of War. That's the first block. Monarch, Tales, and then Everfest was a supplementary. But it is very apparent that they're connecting supplemental sets to specific sets, which is a great idea, because this, again, goes back to the whole speculatory side of things, where Monarch is seeing some uptick, because Dusk Till Dawn is a supplemental set that is directly in support of Monarch. So, we return to the epic war of the Monarch conflict between light and shadow, and we see a return of fan favourites, Illusionists and Runeblade, so Chain and Prism, whose predecessors have attained Living Legend state. Oh, never mind. Fan favorite Light Illusionist and Shadow Runeblade heroes whose predecessor. So the terminology of using predecessor might allude to the fact that it is a new. It's not just Prism and Chain, but rather a new character. Curious. Okay, so Dusk Till Dawn marks a special milestone, being the 10th booster set release since Flesh and Blood hit gaming tabletops in 2019. To celebrate, we've crafted something truly special for players and collectors alike. Dusk Till Dawn will feature the most magnificent marvels yet. Return the first ever heroes from Living Legend, and honor the original Light and Shadow Living Legend heroes with a 10 serialized set of hand-drawn artist sketch cold foil cards. Okay. How do I feel about them latching onto serialized cards? Not fantastic, to be honest. So, here's the mentality you can probably rationalize. Within a given set, look at the fables. Technically, fables are, in some manner, serialized. They're just not marked, 1 through 100. So this idea of having a serialized set to then, increase the desirability of X one of those cards is somewhat of an issue to me. I'm hoping that by serialized set, they just mean that it's 10 consecutive cards and not the whole, we've made 100 versions of this card, this card, this card, this card. If you're lucky enough to get them, you get them. That's what I'd like to see. Obviously, it's not a bad thing in terms of collectability. It's great in terms of collectability. I just personally am not a big fan of serialized sets of a specific card. So I'm hoping that the interpretation of this, again, I'll probably watch the preview and then, talk a bit more, but I'm hoping that by serialized set, they mean that it is 10 consecutive cards, not a limited numbering where the first printing is numbered 1. Okay? Because again, if there's, 1,000 fables, give or take, technically that's a serialized pool. They're just not labeled in the order that they were printed. So you don't need that distinction to make it prized. So for instance, the one of one, the One Ring, they just put the One Ring as a single copy. There's not really a point to labeling it one of one, right? I guess the legality side of things is just to mark it. So from a lottery standard, you've got the backing to legally say this is just one of one. Okay, to where are we up to? So we have Sketch Cold Foil Heroes for Prism, with a new title, and Chain. Right, that is a new title? Nope, all that threw me was the fact that they've joined Arclight when, like the normal publication. So for instance, if you go to Heroes, it's spaced out. So in my head, it looked bigger. than what it actually is. Where are you? There we go. So for instance here, Prism of Arc Light, not Arc Light. There is a difference, especially biblically. And then Chain. I know Chain bound by Shadow, that I'm pretty sure that's the same. So each artist sketch is unique, illustrated by hand of the original artists of these iconic heroes. I'm guessing this is short, so we might as well watch. Yeah, so it's just the new artwork, which is fine. We'll skip ahead. Obviously, they're not really revealing the event, which is great, because that means there's going to be some differentiation, which was a quandary I had, was whether or not they would change up the mechanics. So we have the Advent of Thrones, so Prism's in charge, apparently. And where is Chain? Interesting. So Prism is kept, but Chain is replaced by Viset. Interesting. And release is 14th of July. Ooh, I feel like that's a bit sooner than we expected. I'm pretty sure we were thinking September, maybe August, but July, and preview is 30th. So we might actually see another set come out at the end of the year. And then the last little bit, the Return of the Living Legends. So Prism is coming back. Anything interest to say? Beautiful card will be attainable. Nope. Should be highly coveted. Wait for what? Today we're proud to share this beautiful card will be attainable in cold foil exclusively at the War of the Monarch pre-release. Okay, so this I do like. Flesh and Blood has really stuck to promos actually being worthwhile. So I don't know if anyone remembers like Benji or Data Doll. So like I have a Data Doll card, and that was just sent as an extra to the boxes, and it's worth quite a bit, and it is quite unique because it is a cold foil. Granted, when they made previous heroes cold foil, all it was the border, which is a bit shameful. For instance, I have the original Reiner from the Underground, right? I didn't play, I bought it, but that is a cold foil version of Reiner, the first version. And only the borders are cold foil. Same with Cheyenne. Cheyenne always disappoints me looking at it, seeing what they've done with like Bravo. Would have been nice to have like her dress cold foil. Anyway, so Prism's new adult version, the Awakener of Soul, will be revealed. But given the art, looks glorious. Love the throne. Do we have anything about? Yeah, we do. Okay, so Chain as primary antagonist in the first chapter, but has now been replaced. Remains confined to the realm of living legends. His teachings are not. Okay, so it's like a Dark Apprentice type of methodology. Interesting. Definitely creepy. And then Archangels of Solana. These are much better versions of Heralds from the look of it, which is great. Why does it seem like Illusionist gets all the coolest cards? I guess just the concept of summoning, whether it be dragons or angels, is pretty, loved and cherished within the RPG world. And boy, oh boy, this is gorgeous. I'm not going to get too much into mechanics. But yeah, Dusk till Dawn, but it's being titled War of the Monarch, which is very interesting. So I'm curious if Dusk till Dawn was just, say, the code name. And then this is, well, what's it? No. So there you go. The set code is Dusk till Dawn. Yeah, sorry, this is a bit rambly. I thought this would be a good little change. Normally I read up and then discuss stuff. But I was super excited. I very much enjoyed Monarch. I like the good versus evil, light, dark sort of theology. Prize kits and all the pre-release stuff, don't need to worry about. Configuration, there we go. So 236 card set, usual Fabled, Legendaries, Majestics, there are 10 Marvels, and Old Foresters, sketch cards, available only in Europe, North America, and Brazil. Given that this is a New Zealand company. I'm hoping that that's just language or printing. But if this means that it's literally only in the distribution to these areas, I am greatly disappointed. Because obviously I'm Pacific Asia or Oceania, whichever terminology you want, not Europe or America or Brazil. Which then my understanding would be obviously Spanish, French, and American. That would be nice to see that it is spanning the different languages. This is I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this. Alright, any change in pricing? No, I think 160 is what it should be. Granted, boxes don't really go for 160 here in Australia. Still pretty much hits since, well, the bad era of, again, Monarch. Tails and Everfest that really, saw a lot of shops give up on it. You can generally get boxes for around the 120 mark, which is quite nice. The stained glass, great. Loved it in MTG. Hated that it was so common. Marketing assets, look at the world. Ooh. Marketing assets are not available, but we can see the 2 imagery. So the Radiant City, I do enjoy lore. I don't enjoy reading like this. I enjoy reading like dot points and like wiki entries, if you will. The like summation. But yeah, so we'll leave it there. Dusk Till Dawn, finally announced. Great to see. This is worrisome. That's the only downside, I guess, that I have with it. And yeah, so it's not intended for draft, because again, it is a supplemental set, which is going to be really good. I think this is a great way to balance out Monarch. And I think release this, then release the unlimited print run, and use them to balance each other out. And I think Monarch can survive. Because again, I will reiterate, once the unlimited numbers come out for both Tails and Monarch, they're going to go back down into the toilet for a little bit at least. Gorgeous.